This week on Create, Consume, Repeat, I take an in-depth look at the Analogue SuperNT and stumble upon a game within a game. With the growing popularity of retro games like the charming adventures of Owlboy, the hyperkinetic, roguelike Metroidvania action of Dead Cells, and the addictive 4-player action of Towerfall, it's pretty clear that retro-inspired gaming is here to stay. This got me wondering though, why all of a sudden have retro-inspired games become so popular? Sure, it makes total sense for developers when you consider the smaller development costs when compared to creating something like a AAA title, the simplified game controls that are much more inviting to a broader, more casual audience, and the built-in audience hook of nostalgia, which I have examined in a previous episode, which you can find right here. Now, with all that said, I don't want to give the impression that all these new retro games are just up-res versions of the games we grew up playing and loving as kids. Many have added modern game design principles like procedurally generated level design, mind-bending rewind game mechanics, and deep social commentary, all which have elevated the art form and retro gaming to a whole new level. Yet sadly, these examples are the exception, with most retro gaming just building on the aesthetics, which made me stop and think, why am I waiting for developers to drop new retro-inspired games when a vast library of classic Super Nintendo games I never got to enjoy as a kid are just waiting for me to pick up and play? Yet therein lies the rub. Playing Super Nintendo games on a modern TV is a bitch. Sure, I could play them on my Switch, but Nintendo's handling of their own Super Nintendo library, well, it's pretty abysmal. Other options do exist, like the highly regarded, hardware-accurate, open-source FPGA-based platform, Mr. But even this popular option requires tinkering that, according to them, is no more difficult than setting up a Raspberry Pi. What? A Raspberry Pi? What the f***? Now, I know for some in my audience that code for a living, this isn't a big deal, but I have an aversion to spending my nights messing with lines of code. I just want to jump in and play. Is that too much to ask? That's why I picked up the SuperNT from Analogue. It delivers an FPGA, no emulation, 1080p, zero lag, totally accurate way to play the Super NES and Super Famicom library. Now, I'll admit, it's a bit pricey at $189.99 without controller, but this little box allowed me to glide through the air in pilot wings, dodge werewolves in Zombies Ate My Neighborhood, practice my uppercut in Super Punch-Out, become one with the Force in Super Star Wars, and time travel in Chrono Trigger, just like in Back to the Future. Well, close enough. You get the idea. And for those wondering about specs, the Analogue SuperNT's technical specifications would make any retro game nerd drool, featuring support for 1080p, 720p, and 480p with NTSC and PAL support, all with lag-free, zero-signal degradation, and 48 kHz 16-bit digital audio via HDMI. And for those purists out there, yes, it features the original style controller ports, scanline options, scalar options, horizontal position adjustment, and horizontal plus vertical position stretch. They even throw in a director's cut of Factor 5's unreleased Super Turrican to sweeten the deal. And boy, is this game gorgeous. I mean, wow. But wait, I still haven't mentioned the best part of the Analogue SuperNT, and that's the fun you'll have tracking down and collecting old Super Nintendo games. Consider it a game within a game that will stir something deep in your heart and mind. No, really, just wait, I'll prove it. The truth is, collecting is something we all do, be it antiquities like Dr. Jones, armor like Bruce Wayne, comic books like Mr. Glass, gloves for each base stolen, a sick toy collection, scalps from fallen foes, trophies from a hunt, or an unnerving unicorn collection that would give any potential suitor the creeps. Well, not every potential suitor. Collecting allows people to relive their childhood, connect them to a period of time, help them ease insecurity and anxiety about losing a part of themselves, or remind us of the victories we once savored. Whatever the reason, our brains are wired to collect. It's perfectly normal. So the next time you're hankering for some retro gaming goodness, don't look for the new hotness or the new, but instead look to the past. You may discover something about yourself in the process. That brings us to the end of another episode. And don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and bell to be notified when I drop another episode chock full of nerd goodness. Catch you guys next time.